Hey guys, what's up? It's Devon. How's it going? It's been a minute, and by a minute I mean like 4 to 6 months, because I've just been completely MIA from social media, from making videos, from doing anything, because this has just been a crazy time as it has for everybody else. So I don't want to talk about the pandemic or everything too much, but just during this time, obviously it's been stressful and depressing. I did lose someone close to me, so that's been really hard, but something really great did come out of the pandemic, and that was that my mom and I moved into a new salon. So this is going to be a little glimpse of the salon remodel. We really never thought we were gonna leave our previous place. It was a salon suite and we were really happy there, but this pandemic just kind of has put things into perspective and showed people's true colors, and we decided we did not agree with the new lease that we were given. Our lease was previously up, so we decided to leave, and we found a new spot, and it worked out in the end so good for us, and it has been a little blessing in disguise, because now in California we are on shutdown number 2. So I cannot imagine paying the super high rent I was paying even longer or again. Luckily, the spot we found, the rent is much more affordable, so it has been really just the best business decision we have made. The financial burden isn't as heavy in our new place as it was over there, and we're just completely in control of our whole situation, our whole environment now, opposed to the salon suite. So we're really grateful, we're really happy. Obviously, any kind of move or change is super scary, so in the beginning we were really scared and unsure, but as we got going and remodeling and obviously decorating, which is the most fun, we realized that we were really happy and we made the right decision. So here's a little glimpse of our salon remodel. This is basically what I've been doing, or what I had done over quarantine. A lot of my clients were asking me, like, what did you do? Like, I remodeled a salon. That was basically it. So for the month of probably May is when we remodeled. We just kind of took our time and did it slowly, and then June 2nd came around and we got to open, and we had our opening. It was really great. We have a lot of new procedures and guidelines that we have to follow to keep our clients safe, obviously. And then 6 weeks later we got shut down again. So here we are now again shut down. It's a little bittersweet because obviously our new place was super cute and we were following all the guidelines and doing everything we had to do, and it was so nice to see my clients again and see other people and talk and be able to work. So here we are again shut down, but like I said, it's temporary, so soon we will be back in our cute little salon, and I hope you guys enjoy this little before and after, and hopefully I'll see you soon. So right away when we saw this space, we kind of fell in love with it. It seems like it's kind of a hole in the wall and it needs a lot of work, but honestly we just saw all the potential that this spot had, and we had really good vibes from it. From the second we walked in, my mom and I both agreed that we really liked it. We talked to the landlord about the floors, because that was the biggest issue for me. The floors just kind of were a hot mess. There was a spot, I don't know if you can tell, kind of right there. It just was like 2 different floors, and they were really just stained up. Even though they're pretty and vintage, they were a mess. So he did agree we could put our own floor into this space, and that's kind of what sold us. Besides this really awesome little nook closet area, being able to put our own floors in, I knew would just transform it, and it would become a completely different little spot. So once he agreed to that, we pretty much were all on board. There was just a lot of work. It needed a lot of holes and a lot like this green paint that we had to repaint. And also, you can't really tell from this video, but the ceilings are this really dark goldish yellow color. I don't know about you guys, but I really hate painting. It's definitely not my favorite thing to do at all. My boyfriend hates it too, so he was not gonna help us with it, but actually he would have if I would have asked, but I didn't, because I figured my mom and I could do it since it was such a small space. But I do regret not putting a primer on these walls before. This is just the actual paint color, which we picked up
at one of the local paint stores here, and we were able to do a curbside pickup, so that was really nice. But we didn't get a primer because we thought we could just paint it. It wouldn't be that bad. The green wasn't too dark, but it definitely needed a primer. I had to do 4 coats of this paint, but wow, look at it already. Like, it already looks so great. The pipes were really hard to paint because they all kind of were entangled together. And this is the floor. Yay! Hi, Jack. Jack is here to help us. Him, my mom, and I snuck in without my dad to take all these baseboards off. My dad didn't want us to take any of the baseboards off because he thought he could salvage them, but sorry, John, we were about to throw all that away. They just were really old, and I kind of wanted a thicker, taller baseboard. So obviously I realized once we tore them off, we probably should have done that before we painted, but the new baseboards were going to be taller anyway, so that wouldn't show. Whoever did this room before, oh my gosh, it's just so crooked, and all the walls are crooked. There's so many nails and staples and everything. It really was hard to get the baseboards off and get everything off. It took probably a whole day just to do this part. I think we might have filled some holes in the walls also this day, but pretty much we were just trying to get everything clean, get everything off the wall, and prep it for the floors, because that was the most exciting part. Oh my god, I need a tan. Who else needs a tan? I didn't even get one this summer because I've basically been inside, so yay for quarantine. But yeah, here's me just trying to get these baseboards off the wall. They also had this really funky little part at the end, which is like on the floor. That's what was nailed in. So besides just being staple gun to the wall, they also were nailed onto the wall. But who needs a man? We can do this, right? Actually, Jack helped me, so it was nice to have a man, but girl power, we can do it. Here's me ripping that shit off of the wall to reveal the hideous green paint that was still there, and actually was all in our hall as well. Our hall leading into our room. We text our landlord all scared, asking him like, please, can we paint out here? It's just really dark and it's kind of dirty. And we were so nervous he was gonna be like, what the hell did I get myself into, having these girls come into my building? But he was like, okay. So we got to paint the hallway too, which was really great because that green has got to go. And also, I love our landlord. He's super cool. This whole move and everything was just so great, and he's just like a really down-to-earth guy. He's pretty awesome. So we're really happy with this, and I'm sorry, Joe, if you ever see this, but yeah, I did rip all your baseboards off of your wall, but now you have new ones that'll be there forever, and they're really pretty and great, and I hope you'll see it at the end that it was all worth it. Oh my gosh. So after we ripped all of these off and got all the nails and everything off, it was time for the floors. But first, here is the mess we made. We took the sink out, and that was a hot mess. Here's my favorite little closet. I think things have to get worse before they get better, right? There's our shampoo bowl, but this was my favorite find. So this paint, the green came off, and that peach is actually the vintage paint that used to be in this whole building. So we decided to do kind of a little pinkish color on that wall, an ode to the old vintage pink, and here the floor is done. Wow, I'm not gonna time lapse my dad doing the floors because he hates social media and he doesn't want to be on it at all. But now the floors are done, so my mom and I are deciding how we're gonna do this peel and stick wallpaper. So we found this really awesome tropical wallpaper from Etsy from a girl in Poland, and it is a peel and stick, and she actually modified it to the length and custom order of our wall, so it was really easy. It just came in these 3 panels, but we're trying to decide how exactly we want to do it, and here we are just pretending like we know what we're doing when we have no idea. So obviously we started at the other side because I told my mom that would work best. That other corner is where her shampoo bowl was going to be, so we're going to have a lot to cut out there, and it was going to get a little tricky. Peel and stick wallpaper, you really want to make sure that your wall is smooth. We actually had to go in with putty and putty this whole wall before we did this because it had a lot of bumps. So if it has a lot of bumps in your wall, you're really not going to get a clean, smooth wallpaper. It's not going to stick. It's going to be bumpy and you're going to have bubbles. So we had to go in with a putty. We had to putty this whole wall, which actually wasn't too bad, but we definitely didn't get it super smooth and flat and perfect, but we did get it okay, so it did stick. After that, we had to paint the wall, so you want to make sure it's not a matte or flat paint. It has to be something with like a semi-shine to it in order for the wallpaper to stick. You're also going to want 2 people to do this, and we got a dry eraser to help us do this instead of the spatula, because the wallpaper that we got, since it was custom made, it was a little more delicate, so if you're scraping too much, some of the print could come off. So we felt like the dry eraser really helped a lot better, just kind of smooth all the bubbles out. Obviously we started at the top. We tried to align it with the frame around the door, but it did get very tricky. The first one was okay, it wasn't that bad, but after that it did get tricky to line the print up. But our wall is also, like I said, just so uneven. This whole kind of building, or at least our room in this, was really uneven. So here we are just trying to get the bottom corners to match up so there wasn't a space in between the wallpaper. That was probably the hardest part, was matching it up at the very end, the very bottoms. They're kept like getting this just, like 1/4 of an inch or less little space, and so you could totally see that the print didn't match. So we just kind of sat there and pulled it. Since it is a peel and stick, it's a little bit easier to take it off of the wall and put it back. It will stick again, but you can't do this like so many times. It kind of would just be like a few times we could take it off. As you see here, we could pull it over as hard as we could, and it did give a little bit, it had a little bit of stretch to it, and we just kind of finessed it in to match. Obviously we've never done this before. My mom's pretty good with regular wallpaper, so we almost debated just getting some glue to glue it down better, but at this point we just were over it and just trying to make it work the best that we could, and it actually turned out pretty good. For the most part, we were pretty impressed. So here's the last piece, and like I said, this last piece is why I said we should finish with this side instead of going from left to right. We decided to go from right to left because my mom's shampoo bowl is going to be there, so we had to cut some things at the bottom out for the plumbing and everything. I think if we would have actually done it from left to right, it probably would have messed things up, because we would have had to cut that spot and it probably would have pulled a little bit differently. But this definitely was the hardest piece to put up, this last piece, because it didn't match up right. But again, our wall is like super crooked. I'm not sure why. I think the building that we're in used to be a really big building, and then the landlord decided to put different walls up. It actually used to be a salon back in the day too. He bought this when he moved over from the East Coast for his wife, because she was a hairdresser, and then she decided to have a family and not work. But lucky for us, it had all the plumbing. So after that, it was a salon a few other times, and then he put some walls up, and still some people did use this space for a salon, so that was kind of cool. I actually know a few hairstylists that used to work in this spot, and so maybe that's why I was full of good vibes also, because I had all these great hairdressers before me that actually blessed this spot with their artistic ability. So it just felt good all the way around. But obviously it was all set up for plumbing since it had been a salon, so that was really awesome for us. What was not awesome for us is that this last piece was a little bitch. We just couldn't get it. It was really hard. Obviously, we had to do it a few times. There was a little bit of yelling and arguing, not gonna lie, whenever you're working, with your mom or sister, aunt, or anybody you're close with, you might bicker a little bit, but it totally wasn't bad. We kind of were just irritated with the wallpaper, not with each other. So here we go. We got it a little bit better after this. And if you don't know where I went underneath the wallpaper, and you can see my little shoes right there, but it was a little easier for me to just be underneath and pull it while she got it to stick down. So I felt like if we would have done a whole room with this, by the end of it we would have been pros. It's definitely hard to kind of get it going, if that makes sense. It's easier like once you start doing it and kind of get it down a little bit, but this is again where it got tricky because we had to cut out the spot for the plumbing, and we really did not do a professional job at this. It pretty much was just us cutting holes and hoping it would match up, and knowing that we had a good amount of space that would be covered from the base of the shampoo bowl, so it really didn't matter too much. And here's us just finishing up and getting all the little bubbles out. The wall again is crooked, so that top we had to cut to try to get it to match upright. But other than that, I mean, it came out pretty good for our first time. These are the brick paneling we decided we were going to put up. Also that half pink wall. And I think it matches really great with the wallpaper. So here we go. Hope you guys enjoy the final product. I'm honestly just so in love with this space. That mirror and those lights are from Anthropology. Again, our wallpaper was a custom order from Etsy, along with the dried palms over there. My dad built the shampoo bowl and the shelves. Our lockers are from IKEA, and they're also custom made by my dad, along with these chairs. And I think it all came together so great in the end, and it's just a really positive and happy place. Shout out to Dyson. Here's my favorite little nook area. I didn't show you too much because right now it's just a storage, but here is the product we sell. It's Devon. Check them out, they're amazing. And here's my spot. I love it. I love my wall art. I love everything about my little corner. It's really, really awesome. We also made the floral arrangement on the wall, which was super easy. And then I'll have to include a little up-to-date version of one of the last things we've done. So there's our little light and our product shelf. And all in all, we're so in love, and I hope you enjoyed.